Hey, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another video on the Geo Pro 12 SRK, and we're going to be focusing on winterizing. So first thing you want to do when you're winterizing is you want to get all the bulk water out of the camper, and by that I mean any large volumes of standing water. For example, we're going to come underneath in front of the tire here. This is the drain for our main holding tank. So if you pull that drain open, and if there's any freestanding water in your freshwater tank, it'll drain out there. We want to do the same thing for our gray water holding tank. Remember, your gray water tank is anything that goes down your sink drain, and I winterized this already yesterday, so we might see some pink antifreeze come out of here. So there's some gray water coming out. Next largest volume of water we have is in our hot water tank. The hot water tank you can drain through your low point drains down here, and what you need to do is open up your pressure valve. So for water to get out, air needs to get in, and we can use a 1 1/16 inch socket on these nuts here. These only have to be hand tight, so we can loosen them up and unscrew these. Again, mine's already empty. What you're seeing here drain out is antifreeze, because I already have antifreeze in my lines from yesterday. But if you take both of these off, these are your low point drains. It's the lowest point, so everything in the camper will drain through here. So there's a little bit of pressure still built in, but you can see that's all antifreeze. When that's all drained, just put the caps back on. Again, they're just hand tight. You don't want to torque these too hard. They have a plastic ferrule inside. If you tighten them up too much, the ferrule will crack. And then if you want to confirm that your hot water tank is empty, you can use the same 1 1/16 nut. Pull out your anode rod, and if there's any residual water, it'll drain out there. I'll leave my anode rod out for the winter. Next, what was next? Okay, after you've drained your hot water tank and you've drained your holding tank, the next large volume of water you might have in your system is your water filter. So you'll remove your water filter housing and water filter. You can see mine's pink. It's filled with antifreeze. Again, I already winterized it yesterday. But before you remove that, you want to make sure you have the tool. You want to make sure you have a towel on the ready in there, because water will drip. While you're under here removing your water filter housing, what you want to do after we've drained the hot water heater is you want to turn your hot water heater valves away from the heater and put them back in line with the hoses, because what you do not want to do is, when we add antifreeze, you do not want the antifreeze to get into your hot water heater. So while we're under here, we definitely want to make sure we have the valves in line with the hoses and not pointing at the hot water heater. So now our hot water heater is drained and it is closed off from the rest of the plumbing. Okay, now that we have all the water drained from the holding tank, the gray water tank, the filter housing, and the hot water heater, we can get ready to add antifreeze. Now you're going to add the antifreeze right in here. This is the valve right below your city water connection. So we can pop this cover off, and it's got a garden hose attachment, and it has a note in here that says close the valve to the tank, open the valve to the inlet. That's a little bit tricky. It took me a while to find the valve that they were talking about. So where that's located, unfortunately, it's right next to the water pump, which if we come around to the side of the camper, we have our storage compartment here. There was a panel wall here. Mine was held in with 2 screws. I removed that. So inside this cavity, now it's kind of dark. I don't know how well you'll be able to see. But here's our well pump, and connected to the hose somewhere right in here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a valve. It's really hard to reach, but you want to turn that valve so that you're closing off the water pump from your freshwater holding tank and opening, and it's all one valve. So when you turn that valve, it closes off the water holding tank, and it opens up the access to our antifreeze inlet right here. So what I did was I cut a short piece of garden hose to attach. Let's try it the other way. There you go. Basically all you're going to do here, you attach the garden hose. The garden hose is cut long enough to reach the ground. So basically I just popped a hole in the antifreeze, put the hose inside, and then when you come around here, let's see, faucets are closed, everything's closed, turn on your water pump, and now you can see water pump is pulling water from the antifreeze bottle. All right, so we're pulling water from the antifreeze. Now what we can do is we can come over here, we can open up our spigots, and we can run this until all the water's out and you get all pink foam coming out. So that's cold water. Here's the hot water. See, it's all nice pink antifreeze coming out. So while you're emptying your tank, or while you're emptying your lines, you're also filling your trap. And what little remaining you can keep inside the gray water tank. Let's put the cap back on from when we drained it. Yeah, and basically that's it. There's not much to it because I ran the antifreeze through the pump. My pump is protected. It flowed through all of these lines here up to the sink, so it's gonna fill your water filter housing. All of these lines, I got antifreeze now running through all these lines up to the sink. Nice thing about the Geo Pro is there's no bathroom, so we don't have tubs and toilets and no multiple sinks in the kitchen or outdoor sinks and showers. So yesterday when I did it the first time, I used just under 2 gallons of antifreeze. A lot of it goes into your filter housing, and then whatever the pumps and lines hold. Plus, you know, you can run the pump as long as you want to fill up your sink trap. And yeah, I mean, basically that's it. It's pretty easy to do. Once you know what you're doing, it's probably a 15-minute job. It took me a little longer yesterday because I was just trying to sort it out and figure it all out. So that's it. Like I was saying earlier, the hardest part of the job is reaching in here. So I hope you're maybe a smaller person or you have long arms. My torso doesn't fit in this opening. Fortunately, my arms are long enough to reach that valve. So that's it. Really, that's the process to winterizing the Geo Pro 12 SRK. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them for you. And again, thanks for stopping by to Stonehearth Adventures for another Geo Pro 12 SRK video.